It is almost a year that President Muhammadu Buhari inaugurated the much-touted Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Railway line. A day many Nigerians will live never to forget. Even the bones of the founding fathers in the grave must have leaped as what seemed impossible for decades was actualized.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to address you today and preside over the flag-off ceremony for commercial operation of Lagos-Ibadan Railway Project at the Mobolaji Johnson Railway Station, Ebutemeta, Lagos. This signals yet another milestone in the drive of this administration to revitalize the railway system, establish it as a choice mode of transportation for both passengers and freight, and position it as a transportation backbone that can transform industrial and economic activity in the country.
Railway transportation in Nigeria is more than a century old. For some, the railway law was part of their growing up years, and when the sector turned moribund, it was like a major part of transportation system was missing. 10th June 2021, the Lagos-Ibadan railway line, after a checkered construction period and process, the project must have been verily valued by Mr. President to have physically come to Lagos to perform the flag-off ceremony. It is one project that has gobbled huge resources in the country. The rail project has been largely financed through loans from China. A debt is a debt. It has to be paid someday. The consolation is that Nigerians and the world can visibly point to what the loans have been used for. Unlike in many other instances, the good news also is that the train services have the capacity to pay off the loans by which they were procured over time. The various state governments like Lagos, Ogun and Oyo had to be fully and persistently carried along to get their buy-in plus their support in ensuring that the construction went on smoothly. Many of the sub-regional governments nominated their staff into the larger operations committee that oversaw the construction and completion of the project. The beauty in the long story is the birth of a new standard gauge railway line from Lagos through Abeokuta to Ibadan. People now travel with comfort, telling good stories about their experiences. As some of them say, it has been long they drove to Lagos since the commissioning.
The train was fast, the train was clean, the AC was okay. I enjoyed the trip. I've been using it, this is not the first time. So
comfortable, it's very prompt, comes to the exact time, and very pleasurable. Other than that, I think it's good. For me, I can't remember in the last 3 months, I've not driven to Lagos, because I can't imagine that traumatic experience, they have on that express road.
As sweet as the stories were, there is another side to it. Too many people wanting to travel by rail, but you have to be at the terminal as early as 6:30 in the morning for you to have a ticket to travel, or else you will have to go by road. Just because of this developing story, 2 of our reporters were at the terminal by 7 in the morning, pretending to embark on a trip through the train and also getting to know the situation of things and what people face traveling by the rail.
Let us do it that way. So as to be comprehensive and more legit and official. In as much as it is a positive something we want to do on this and to assist the government.
At the sight of camera, people were ready to share their tale of experiences by telling different stories as it affects each passenger, particularly in the last days of trying to use the rail as means of transportation as the Yuletide season approaches.
Many of us are here, we came on time, but we could not get tickets because they said the seats are filled. But I believe the government should also consider the fact that with the recent spate of increase in kidnappings along the roads, the obstruction on the traffic along the Berger axis in Lagos and co. They ought to have anticipated the increase in numbers of people trying to make use of the train.
The crowd at the ticketing point was much. Everyone wants to get to Lagos, but were confronted with limited space in the Lagos-bound train, as this man, who wanted to be by the side of his graduating son, watched in disbelief.
I'm really disappointed. I'm not going to Lagos to attend the graduation ceremony of my son at Yabatek, thinking that I will board the train here and get there by 10:30 or so. Now they say the coaches are free fill up from Ibadan. It's not reasonable. The government are not caring for the masses at all. So in fact, it's just for frustration entirely. Imagine now, how would I get back to the road now? Start getting another commercial vehicle to Lagos. Yes, by 10, 11. In fact, I'm confused.
Another prospective passenger traveling to Lagos to catch an early morning flight to Kano was not lucky enough, and he was in total state of confusion.
We were here on the line since morning, but at last the manager come out and explained to us that there is no ticket. The transit is over now. That's what he told us. We are not happy automatically.
Right on time, few minutes after 9 in the morning, the Ibadan-Lagos train arrived at Professor Wole Soyinka terminal in Abeokuta for its 5-minute stopover to pick people heading to Lagos, and the number of people left were more than those who got on board.
The seat has been occupied. The standing also is exhausted, so there is no more space for this trip. They take standing.
Also trying to witness what the situation would look like for the Lagos-Ibadan train, which arrived around 20 minutes to 10 in the morning. The story was not too different. Counting the number of coaches on each trip, averagely between 8 and 9, out of which 6 is for standard, with each accommodating 88 passengers. Others say government should increase its frequency from twice to 4 or more times in a day.
It's gotten so bad now that when you come here like 8:10 or 8:20, you don't get to buy tickets. They will tell you that the place is filled up and you get worried. And then you find out that people are saying they don't mind standing. And when they collect ticket for standing, where does that one go?
I think instead of just 2 in a week, in a day, if it could go up like 3 or 4, I think it will alleviate a lot of problems.
If you plan to travel to Lagos from Abeokuta by rail, the fare is 2,000 naira, while Abeokuta to Ibadan costs just 600 naira.